Hope everyone is having a great day. It is Wednesday, okay? Week 2, day 8 of our virtual fitness and health camp. This camp is inclusive and we have people that are live in our Zoom chat right now. So if you want registration information or more information, just leave me a message or comment in the post. Today is Workout Wednesday. It's 11 a.m. and it's week 2, day 8. So we've already had 7 days before this. If you haven't already started the program, you can go to Virtual Fitness and Health Camp, search in YouTube. And I also have an archive and registration forms if you want to still be part of our group. So we still have about, 24 minus 8. So we have, 16 more classes left. So that's cool. So you can still be a part of this if you'd like to. All right, so for today, we are going to perform a warm-up with our CARs. If you know what CAR stands for, go ahead and write that down. We're going to go over the neck. We're going to do cat-cow. So we're going to be doing spinal flexion and extension today, 90-90 elbows. So we'll be doing external and internal rotation, shoulder, scapula, elbow, wrist, hip, knee, and ankle, going over those just to see how everything feels. Make sure there's no pain before we start. Then we'll go into our dynamic stretch, some good mornings, gait swings, lateral wipers, squats and thrusters, pulling the rope in a split stance position, so getting in that iso split stance. We'll do 2 rounds of that, and then we'll get into our workout. We'll have 4 rounds, and each round we'll have 2 exercises we'll perform twice, and we will go for reps in seconds this time. So not really worrying about the clock, but we will be using the clock to make sure that we're not going over. After that, we will go into our cool down. So we have about a 10-minute warm up, a 10-minute dynamic stretch, a 20-minute workout, and a 10-minute cool down. So about 50 minutes. So make sure you plan accordingly. If you need to head out early, make sure you go and cool down. Don't try not to end in the middle of a workout without cooling down, and make sure you have a lot of water. And here we go. So I'll keep this here. Okay, remember, I will provide a Google Doc template that you can access online after I create this video, and these videos will be archived so you can share these with other people. So whether you are seated or standing, I'll have seated options and I will have standing options. Okay, my seated options will be very similar to my standing options as best I can. I'm going to try to make these exercises as inclusive as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the neck. Whether we're seated or standing, we're going to go ahead and squeeze the fist, sit up nice and tall. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and drop the neck down, rotate the neck, look over the shoulder, hold here. And then we're going to look behind the shoulder and up toward the sky, hold here. And now I want you to look over the other shoulder, hold here, and then I want you to drop the chin down so you're looking at the ground. So you just completed 1 circle. Let's complete 1 more circle a little bit faster. Control it, trying to find the outermost space, all the way up, looking over the other shoulder, and dropping the chin down. Go ahead and rotate the other way. Flex the chin down, squeeze, rotate. Bend into the side, extend back, rotate toward the other side, flex down. Whether you're seated or standing, keep rotating. Bend into the side, extend the neck back, rotate to the other side, and flex down. So what are we looking for? Well, let's say, for example, when you went like this, you felt a pain or a pinch when you went like this on this side. So this would be a closing angle pinch. See how this side of the joint is a little bit shorter or smaller than this side of the joint. So this would be a closing angle. This would be a closing angle. This would be an open angle. So there's a bigger angle and a smaller angle. If you have a closing angle pinch, that is worse than a open angle pinch. So an open angle tightness is normal and we can work with that. But if you're feeling pain on the same side that you're bending into, that is something that you want to pay attention to and maybe even refer to a physician, because if there's pains and angles that are on the closing side of the joint, we want to mark those down. So that's why it's really important to assess those joints. All right, so cat and cow. So let me make sure we get our timer going here. Cat and cow is basically spinal flexion and spinal extension. So you've seen people perform the cat and cow stretch, and a lot of times it looks like this, right? It's kind of uncontrolled, kind of go up, you kind of go down. But when we're focusing on mobility, we want to think one vertebrae at a time. So if you're on your hands and knees, it'll look like this, one vertebrae at a time. And then I want you to segment from the low back all the way to the upper back, all the way down. So keep doing that if you're on your hands and knees. If you're seated, it'll look something like this. You'll round the back. You'll arch the back, look up. And then you'll lower the back until the head comes down. Okay, so whether you're seated or you're in a hands and knees position, let's go for 2 more reps. So round the back, tuck the chin wherever you are. And then articulate low back, mid back, upper back, head, chest, and neck. Now I want you to go the other way. Head and neck down first. Upper back toward the sky, mid back toward the sky. And segment all the way down and really push and really round that back. Whether you're seated or standing, I want you to really push into the ground or just try to really round that back and then relax, okay? 90-90 elbows, so whether you're seated or standing, make a cactus with your elbows at a 90-degree angle. Then from here, I want you to bring one hand down in front of the elbow. So this would be horizontal abduction here. And then from here, we're going to switch. So we have external rotation and internal rotation and horizontal abduction and adduction when we bring our hand out front. So we're going to just go back and forth, whether we're seated or standing, trying to keep those elbows at a 90-degree. Just call this 90-90 elbows, or you can call these donkey kongs, okay? Whatever resonates best with you. Whatever will make you do these a little bit more often. So what we're doing is basically taking our shoulder through external and internal rotation. Now what we'll do is take our shoulder through a car. So if we're seated, we're just going to bring our shoulder all the way up into flexion. So whether you're seated or kneeling or standing, we'll go into flexion. If you want to go into collapse kneeling as well, you can. And then from here, make sure the opposite hand is squeezing. And then from here, what we're going to do is reach back and internally rotate at the shoulder. Look straight ahead. Try not to open up the chest. As you reach back, keep internally rotating at the shoulder so the back of the hand is next to the side of the body. From here, extend, unwind the shoulder, reach all the way back, all the way up, across the body, and down. One more. Up. Actually rotate as you extend. And then extend. Actually rotate the other way and reach forward. Okay? Other arm, squeeze the fist, whether you're seated or standing. If you want to, if you're having a hard time getting your arm behind your back, you can just perform a swimmer where you reach back and then you reach up and over if you're having issues with the clothes or anything that's in the way. So from here, opposite arm, flexion, internal rotation as you extend, back of the hand next to the side of the body, and then extend, unwind, reach back, all the way up, forward, and down. One more, all the way up. Rotate as you extend, back of the hand next to the side, reach back, unwind, up, forward, and down. Scapula, hands next to the sides, or you can have your hands out front. We're going to do the same thing. So we're going to up, go forward, up, back, and down, okay? Forward, up, back, and down. So whether your arms are out front or by the sides, you go up, back, down, forward, up, back, and down. If you need to bend your elbows, you can do the same thing. Now we're going to rotate the other way, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, and back. Try them extended if you haven't already. Same thing, just trying to rotate at the scapula. Try to keep your elbows straight here. Try to keep your wrist straight, and you're just trying to move the scapula without moving the neck or the shoulders. And relax. Okay, elbow and wrist. Tee out the elbows. Palms are facing up, and we're going to bend at the elbows. Squeeze the bicep and the tricep. Squeeze the core. Squeeze the back muscles. Turn the palms up toward the sky, and then push away nice and slow. From here, supinate or palms up, flex, pronate or push the hands down. And then from here, keep the hands down, palms down, and then flex. Now turn the palms open and extend. Turn the palms down and flex. Turn the palms and extend. From here, wrists, bring the hands in front of the elbows. Trying to get those fingertips toward the ground. Hold here, and then we'll bring our fingertips in and up and out and down. In and up and out and down. Other way, out and up and in and down, all the way out, up, in, and down. Okay, looking for any of those closing angle joint pain or any issues, making sure everything feels good. For the hip, what we're gonna do is rotate that hip out, or we're gonna rotate that hip in. If you're able to flex the hip and get the foot off the ground, same thing, external and internal. And if you're not seated and you wanna just try this anyway, you can go ahead and just try it. So these will be, we call these hip axials. Okay, so hip axial rotation. So this is what you're gonna do if you're able to, or if you're seated for this next stretch. So we're gonna focus on our one side, and then we'll focus on the other side. If you're able to, you're gonna go to the hands and knees position. We're gonna bring the knee to the elbow, and as we do this, we're gonna try to keep our body as still as possible, trying not to use anything but the hip that's being moved. We're gonna flex the hip, open the hip up, internally rotate as we extend or reach that knee back, and allow the knee to touch the other knee, and then kick up toward the sky, open the hip up, all the way back toward that elbow. We'll do one more rotation, up, out, rotate in a big circle, keep the knee bent, knee touches knee, keep the knee bent as much as you can, kick the heel up toward the sky, open the hip, knee to elbow. Let's go ahead and switch side. If you're seated, switch leg, flex the hip, open it up, keep the knee bent, internally rotate or drive that hip back to extension and deflection, extension, abduction, flexion forward and down. One more, hip goes out, rotate it in a big circle back, and then kick it back up toward the sky, rotate it all the way back to that front elbow. And done for the hip. For the knee, if you're seated, we're just going to try to bend and extend the knee. If you're able to, or somebody can help you, turn that foot out and lower limb as you bend and extend. It'll look just like this. Okay, so just follow the same directions as us seated here. Okay, if you're able to hook that arm underneath, we're going to go ahead and open that foot out just a little and then extend the knee. Turn the foot in and then bend the knee. Turn the foot out, extend the knee. Turn the foot in and bend the knee. Go ahead and one more, out and up, in and down. Let's go ahead and switch. Out, up, in, down, out, up, in, down, out, up, in, and down. Now I want you to just, if you're seated, go ahead and just rotate those ankles one at a time. If you're seated, and you can move those feet or those toes in any way that you can, or if somebody can help you rotate those ankles. If you're able to sit or stand, you can pick up the toe or hold on to the leg. We're going to rotate that ankle all the way around. Okay, so wherever you are, let me see if I can fix this real quick. There we go. So if you're seated for the ankles, hold on to the shin, point the toe up, and then rotate that ankle all around, big circle. And then rotate it the other way, looking for any pain or issues before we start. And then go ahead and switch. Big circle with the ankle, and then follow around one more direction the other way. So about 2 each way. All right, so we're done with the warm-up for the cars. Now we're going to get into our dynamic stretch. Go ahead and get a sip of water. All right. Dynamic stretch. Basically, dynamic meaning movement, stretching meaning that we're trying to go at our end range or range of motion or end range of motion. So we're using our active ranges of motion dynamically, and we're kind of stretching those muscles as we do that. That's what we mean by dynamic stretch. It's really important to kind of activate muscles before you get into a workout so you don't injure yourself and so that your body's prepared. And also assess yourself with the cars, know if there's any joint limitations before you go into any workout. Cars are always number one, okay? So dynamic stretch. We're gonna go ahead and do the IYT, good morning. So you can make an I, Y, or a T. So turn your arms into I's, Y's, or T's. Okay, so we're gonna go into an I, Y, or T. We're gonna start with a T, it's a little bit easier. And then what we're gonna do is if we're seated, we're just going to hinge forward and then hinge up. If we're standing, we're going to hinge forward and hinge up. Go ahead and start. Hinge forward, hinge up. Hips will go back. Keep the back straight. Try to keep the head in line with the spine. Now, whether you're seated or standing, go to a Y. We're going to go to a Y, hinge forward, hinge up. Standing, hinge forward, hands up. Let's go one more. And then if you challenge yourself, bring your arms to an I. And if you're seated, all the way forward, all the way up. If you're standing, we're going to go for 3 reps. 1, 2, and 3. So those are some good mornings, activating the glutes and hamstrings, also the upper body and core. The gait swing, so seated, we're going to reach over to one side, try to straighten the elbows, and then reach toward the other side and hold. And then if you're standing, same thing. And we're gonna step the opposite leg back where we rotate. So if we rotate this way, I want the opposite leg back. Let's go ahead and try that. Okay, you can keep those palms down to start. If you want to keep one palm up and one palm down, whatever works best for you. Keep going. And relax. All right, now our lateral wiper. If you're seated, we're just gonna wipe to the left or right, back and forth, just doing our windshield wipers, just like this. And then if we're standing, we're just gonna add in a little bound. Okay, it can be as easy as you wanna make it. It can be a step, just like this, or you can really wave across. Keep going. As long as you're moving your arms, that's good. Or if you want, you can always go side to side just like this. Just trying to move side to side. Whether it's our arms or our legs, you can even use your arms just like this, reaching and relax. All right, squatter thruster, So if you're seated, you're just gonna perform the press For the thruster, try to bring those elbows down and shoot those elbows up. We'll keep those elbows in front of the head. We're not really worried about arching our back. So try not to arch the back. Last thing we want to do is arch the back when we press anything overhead, and then just straight down and up. If we're squatting, it'll look just like this. So go ahead and start. So just a thruster. Just make sure that you're breathing. Just squatting down and reaching up. We got about 20 more seconds. Whether you're seated or standing, thruster here. 10 more seconds. Here we go, 5 more. And relax. All right, pulling the rope. So if you're seated, we're gonna try to get some wide legs if you can. If you're not able to, you can just pull just like this. You're gonna pull one direction for half the time, and then you're gonna pull the other way the other time. So we're gonna, if you're standing, we're gonna go to a split stance. Pretend we're pulling here, or a lunge or a low lunge. Just pulling, pulling, pulling. Keep going. Keep going. All right, now go ahead and pull to the other side. Pull, pull, pull. Really reach, really pull. Keep going. Keep pulling, keep reaching. Keep going. 8 seconds. 5 seconds. And relax. All right, let's see where my heart rate's at. Just finished round 1. Take about a 30-second break, and we'll get into the second round of our dynamic stretch. If you remember the dynamic stretch that we completed when we first started, write that in. So if you remember, what was the first dynamic stretch that we completed? Write it in if you remember, because that's what we're about to do. We're going to do the good morning. If you got it correct, good job. Get some water if you need it. All right. All right, it's at 140. Definitely training within my zone right now. Okay, remember at any time if you feel like getting too tired or anything feels painful, you can always stop and you can always just go at your own pace. Okay. All right. Let's go back to that IYT good morning or seated good morning hinge. So we're going to start with the T and hinge over just like this. And then we're going to move to our Y and our I. So if you're standing, it'll look just like this. There you go. Just hinging over, trying to keep your head in line with the spine. And then from here, let's go ahead and make a Y. Hinge forward, and then right up. If you're seated, same thing. You can reach forward with the arms and then reach up with the arms. Now challenge yourself by trying to make an I with your arms. You can go with a wide leg if you'd like to here. Let's go for 3 reps. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Gait swing. If you're seated, you're going to reach over and then reach to the other side. If you can kind of move your body a little bit, just like this, that would work too. If you're standing, it'll look just like this. Go ahead and start. Just breathe. Remember, if you get overwhelmed or tired, you can always just go at a lower intensity. Remember, we only want to feel like we're at a 1 to 5 range while we're working out. If we get to a 6, 6 means that we can't talk, it's hard to breathe. We don't want to get to that 6 level, so stay in a comfortable state. Breathe here. Remember, 360 breathing, inhaling, trying to fill the lower body, and exhaling it out. And relax. Lateral wiper. If you're seated, now this time we're going to reach back and up. Okay, lateral wiper. like it's raining out. If you're standing, it'll be a bit of a bound or a step. Okay, a bit of a bound or a step. Good job. Keep going here. Remember, if you want to just relax and go for the wave or the wiper and cool down a little bit, you don't have to go all the way out. Just making sure that you feel good as you're working out. 10 more seconds. And relax. All right. We have our squat thruster and pull rope. I'm actually going to split these in half. So go ahead and start with the thruster or the press. Just going to go up and down if you're seated or you're standing, same thing. And then if you're able to, maybe add in a squat and a press. Okay, if somebody can help you, maybe do some squats, maybe hold onto your arms, and then maybe the person in the chair can sit down and pull themselves up a little bit. That would be good. Or if you're able to, stand and squat and reach up. Go ahead and relax. Let's go to our pulling the rope. For our last exercise, split stance if you're seated. Remember, we're just reaching over like we're pulling the rope. If you're standing, split stance, pull the rope, and let's go ahead and pull the rope the other way. Switch the legs, keep pulling the rope. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. All right, my heart rate's at a 134. Pretty healthy heart rate, not too high and not too low. All right, so from here, we got our warm-up complete, our dynamic stretch complete. Now, we're gonna get into our workout. Now, as you're getting some water and cooling down, getting your air, inhaling and exhaling, remember, inhale, relax your neck, relax your shoulders. Exhale it out. Focus on your breathing for the next minute, and then we're gonna get into our workout. I'm gonna show you the equipment we're using today. So, if you have a medicine ball, a heavy medicine ball, a bucket of weights, even a kettlebell, you can definitely use one of these 3 items for some of our workouts today. So most people have a book bag, so I'm going to use a book bag today, but if you have a medicine ball or a kettlebell, you can use either. Now, what books do we have in here? Yeah, I got a book on nutrition. I got NSCA Essentials, Personal Training, Gray's Anatomy. We watched that last night. The Language of Coaching. And we also have another NSCA, Strength and Conditioning. I'm going to put all these books in here. Since this is all the knowledge you're going to learn in this camp, I might as well carry that weight on my shoulders. Keep me accountable, right? So that's accountability right there. So adding this material into the camp so that you learn it, but I'm also going to use it as my weight. So if you don't have a med ball or kettlebell, you can be just like me and use a backpack. All right, I'll put those over here. Now, the other equipment that we're using are dumbbells, or you can use soup cans, or you can use protein powders, okay? The wife's protein powder and the husband's protein powder, okay? Mine's whey, hers is plant-based, okay? If you have dumbbells, soup cans, protein scoopers, whatever you want to call them, you can use those as well, all right? So let me go ahead and grab my soup cans, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. All right, I'm back. So I got my soup cans because I know some of you might not have the dumbbells, so I'm going to be actually using the soup cans today, but if you have dumbbells, you can use those, okay? And if you have the protein bins, you can use those as well. But I'm going to just put those different weights over here just in case you need them. Now, for people that utilize wheelchairs or people that are seated, a resistance band might be a really good option too. So I'm going to show you some adaptations you can use with a resistance band. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully you got some water and you're ready for the workout. We got 4 rounds, okay, and we're going to go through them twice. Should be about 20 minutes, and then we'll get into our cool down. Okay, the first exercise is jump or swing reach. Okay, so if you're seated, you're going to swing the arms up and then bring the arms down. You're going to shoot the arms up and shoot the arms down, just like that, just like you would be if you're jumping. If you're able to stand and jump, we're going to jump up and we're going to go for 10 total reps. Okay, so whether you're seated or standing, you're going to jump all the way up. Make sure you're clear, you're not going to fall or there's nothing in the way. So we're going to go for 10 reps, whether you're seated, swinging up, or standing and jumping. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so 10 jumps or 10 arm swings. The next thing we're going to do is forearm or seated plank. If you're seated, I want you to bring your palms down, and I want you to pretend that you're pressing into a wall, or if you can, or if somebody can help you, they can press into you just like this, and I want you to embrace your core and squeeze tight and hold just like this. If no one's in front of you, I just want you to squeeze your core, everything, and hold as tight as you can. If you're on the ground, we're going to try to hold for a 30-second plank. Ready? And go. Hold and breathe. Make sure the upper back is slightly rounded. Don't let the hips come down. Chin's in line with the spine. Push into the ground. Breathe and hold here. Breathe. Okay, we got about 10 more seconds of plank, whether you're seated or on the ground. 3, 2, and slowly bring it down. Good job. All right, so we're going to go back to our jump or our arm swing. And then we'll be done with our first round. So you're going reaching up and then swinging down. Reaching up and reaching down, just like that. Now, if that doesn't work for you, or if you want to stand, you can reach up and jump. All right? So here we go. We're going to go for 10 arm swings or 10 jumps. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So now we're going to go back to our seated plank or our forearm plank. If you're seated, remember, if somebody can press their palms and forearms up against yours and push into you, all you're going to do is hold like you'd be holding on the ground, but you're going to do it in a seated way. You could also, if you can, maybe find a wall and press into the wall with your hands straight and keep the core tight. So for example, you could push into a wall or a barrier and keep the core tight as you do that. If you're able to sit on the ground or go onto the stomach like this, we're going to get in our plank for the next 30 seconds and hold. Breathe. And keep the core, everything's tight from the legs to the fingertips, using every muscle. Around the back a little. Don't let those hips come down. Keep those legs straight. 8 seconds. Breathe. 2, 1, and down. All right. We just finished round 1. All right. Let me give us some squares here. Feel good about that. Cross it off. Next round, reverse lunge or curl. Go ahead and grab your weights or your soup cans. If you're seated, we're going to go for some arm curls. And you can go ahead and start. And we're just going alternating arm curls. If you're standing, we're going to take those weights or soup cans. We're going to touch the ground with our knee and then step back. If that's too much, you can just take a big step, just like this. Option 1, option 2, okay? So if you're seated, again, you're going to curl and just go for the same duration as the lunge here. So we're going to go for 8 each side. That's 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. Remember, you can just step back like this if that's better. 5, 6, 6, 2 more each side. 7, 7, 1 more each side. 8 and 8. Okay, so that was our reverse lunge or our curl. After that, we're going to go to a side plank or moon hold. So if you're seated, you're gonna make like a crescent moon, trying to make a moon, bring your knees together, and we're gonna make a moon, okay, just like this. Now, if you're seated, we're gonna do 15-second plank, side planks on each side, okay? So whether you're reaching over like a moon or seated or in the side plank, we're gonna go ahead and start. Bring the hips up, reach over, breathe and hold whether you're seated or in the side plank. Breathe, 5 seconds. And if you're seated, go ahead and reach the other way. If you're able to plank, you're gonna hold here, 15 seconds. Trying to get those hips up. Keep going, 10 more seconds. 5 seconds, sorry, 4, 3, 2, and bring it down. All right, so we're gonna go back to that first round. Go ahead and stand up. If you're seated, you're gonna go back to those curls with your dumbbells or the soup cans, okay? For the reverse lunge, we're gonna go for 5 each side this time instead of 8. And we're gonna hold on to our backpack or our medicine ball, okay? Here we go, 5 each side, and go. It's 1, 1, 2, and 2, 3, and 3. If you're seated, you're curling. 4, and 4, 5, and 5. Go ahead and drop your bag or your medicine ball. Side plank or moon hold. So this time we'll try with 1 arm instead of 2 arms, and then we'll switch. So if you're seated, it'll look like this. If you're in the side plank, it'll look just like this. We're gonna hold and begin. 15-second hold. 10 more seconds. 5 more seconds. And go ahead and switch if you're seated, reaching over, or you can do a modified version like this with your feet down, like that. Hold and breathe, or stack, breathe. Remember, only about 5 more seconds here. 4, 3, 2, and slowly bring it down. All right, we are done with round 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and cross that off. Going through this pretty smoothly. We got 2 more rounds. We got rows for 10 and uplifts for 8. So if you're rowing and you have a band, we're gonna go ahead and go with a single arm row, and you're gonna probably get more reps than everyone else doing the other rowing exercises. But if you're seated and you have a resistance band, I want you to focus on single arm rows all the way forward, pulling it all the way back just like this, okay? You'll have one side and then you'll do the other side, and I'll let you know when to switch. So for the rows, we're gonna do a split stance on one side. That way we can switch with the rowers. So we're gonna split stance. We're gonna bring our left or right foot forward, doesn't matter what side. And then what we're gonna do from here is lift the bag off the ground. Make sure it touches the ground, and then we're gonna pull it up, okay? We're gonna perform 10 on each side. Remember, if you are rowing the arm here, you're rowing just like this, 10 on each arm. Ready? On your mark, get set and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go ahead and switch legs or switch arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Woo! All right, check out your heart rate. Mine's at 140, so I'm still at a pretty good range. Now we're gonna perform uplifts. If you're seated, you're gonna take your cans or your dumbbells, or just take one dumbbell, or you can also use a med ball, anything really, but I'll give you different options. So you're going to perform an uplift. If you have a med ball, from one corner below to the opposite corner above. So that would be an uplift with the med ball. You have the soup cans, both of the cans at the same time, or you can also do one dumbbell across the body. If you are able to kneel, we will get into the kneeling position, and we're going to uplift toward that front leg, okay? We're gonna get 8 on each side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Go ahead and switch. And if you're seated, switch and go the opposite way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. So that's our row and uplift. All right. So get some water if you need it. Remember, if you're seated and you have access to a band, you can row. One arm row, 10 reps, and then one arm row, 10 reps, just like that. And if you're standing and you have a book bag, we're going to do the bent over row in the split stance position. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. You're either doing a one arm row for 10 reps or a split stance row just like this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then switch legs. Pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and down. All right. So just performed our rows, whether they were with one arm row or the split stance row. Now we're going to go to our uplift. Our uplift, remember, looks like a diagonal across the body. If you're seated, we'll go 8 reps like this, and then 8 reps like this. Okay, try to press those feet into the ground if you're able to, or just try to control the body diagonally just like that. If you're able to kneel, You're gonna rotate toward that front leg, go down toward the back leg, up to that front leg. Here we go. Oh, let me give you one more option. If you have the resistance band, you can also do this. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and switch. 1, 2, 3, control the weight. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, done with the uplifts. Good job. Let's go ahead and cross that off. Last round. We have single leg reach or press. Single leg reach or press. All right, so if you have your dumbbells and you're seated, we're gonna do an alternating press, just like this. Okay, if you're seated, it'll look just like this, okay? If you're able to stand, then you can take your medicine ball or your book bag, and we're gonna perform single leg reach. So we're gonna do, or a single leg deadlift. So we're going to drop the bag, bring one leg behind us back. So if we're standing on our left foot, we wanna be holding the bag with our right hand, or vice versa. We're gonna bring our opposite foot back and try to pick it up. We're gonna bring it down and then stand back up. Okay, so if you're seated, you're gonna go with the alternating press. If you're standing, one leg deadlift. All right, here we go. We're gonna go for 8 on each leg. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Go ahead and relax. If you're alternating the press, go ahead and relax. And then now go ahead and go back to the alternating. If you're deadlifting, here we go. 1, switching hands and feet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, the next exercise is a leg lift, a kick, or an arm raise. Okay, so if you have the cans, you can hold, and then I want you to just kick one leg at a time. You can hold onto the cans, so you can be doing upper body and lower body at the same time. If you're seated, if you're able to go onto the ground, we're gonna perform leg lifts. Okay, so we're gonna bring both those legs up, tee out those arms, and bring one leg down, about 1 inch off the ground, and hold here. Keep the head on the ground, and then we're gonna go ahead and bring that foot up, and then switch. And then go ahead and switch. We're gonna go for 8 reps. Either we are performing kicks, or we're performing leg lifts. Okay, here we go. 1 and 1. 2 and 2. Remember, you'd be kicking 8 on each side. 3 and 3. Well, we got 10 here. I forgot. 4 and 4. Keep those legs straight. 5 and 5. Keep the head down. 6 and 6 and 7. No, we'll get 8. Here we go. And 7. One more. Here we go. 8 and 8. All right. Go ahead and relax those legs. If you're seated, relax those legs. All right. We're going to go back to our single leg reach or press. If you're seated, you're going to go for the alternating press. Maybe go shoot for about 20 and then take a break. All right, and then go back to about 20 if you have the soup cans. If you have dumbbells, maybe go for 10 reps, okay? I think that would be a good, safe thing if you had 10 reps for those dumbbells. If you're doing a single leg reach, take your bag or your med ball. It'll look like this if you want to bring 2 hands underneath, or if you want to do 1 arm, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the 2-hand approach. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then switch. 1. You can always do 2 feet if you need to. 2, 3, alternating. Press with the cans. Go for 20 reps. That's 4. 5, 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so that is done. We're done with the deadlifts. We're done with the alternating press. Next one is going to be an arm kick. If you'd like to hold on to the cans, you can, or you're just going to try to extend those legs. If you can try to match the speed of our legs just like this. Okay, if you're able to get onto the back, tee out those arms, 1 leg up, and then bring the opposite leg up, and then leg that's up goes down. Don't let the heel touch the ground. Switch. Switch. Here we go. We got 6 more each side. 1 and 1, 2 and 2. Remember, this is the last exercise. Don't quit. 3 and 3, 4 and 4, 5 and 5. 1 more. 6 and 6. 1 more. That's it. That's it. That's it. And done. So either you did those leg kicks or leg lifts, either or. We are done with the 4th round. And now we are on to the cool down. So we completed the workout. Get some water. Good job, everybody. How's everybody doing in the chat room? Feeling good? Give me a thumbs up. All right, so let's go ahead and cool down. So whether we're seated or kneeling, I want you to first reach out in front of you, whether you're seated, kneeling, just like this. Breathe. Or if you're seated, you're gonna reach out just like this, okay? If you're seated on the ground, you can also choose to go cross-leg. You're just gonna breathe, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's go ahead and reach to the side, or reach, if you're kneeling, to the side. If you're seated, just reaching toward the side. Should feel a good stretch. Back. And then go ahead and reach to the other side. Just keep breathing. And then sit up nice and tall, whether you're seated or standing or cross-legged like this, or kneeling, doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and inhale, relax your neck and shoulders, fill your belly 360 degrees, hold. And exhale up through the mouth. Inhale through your nose, fill your belly, obliques, lower back. And exhale it out. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. Okay, now we're going to bring 1 leg out front, 1 leg in. So if you're seated, try to just bring 1 leg out in front, and we're just going to lean forward toward that leg, but keep your chest up, okay? So look like this. Keep your chest up. Try to straighten 1 leg, hold and breathe. If you're seated and somebody can help you Maybe just extend the knee and hold just like that. Or if you're able to sit on the ground like this, we're going to hold here. We're going to challenge ourselves by pushing into the ground with the hands and lifting that heel off the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly bring it down. All right, let's try it one more time. Up, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So if you're seated, it'll look just like this. Just gonna try to lift up, or if somebody can help you lift up, that would be great. If you're on the mat like this, sit up nice and tall, lean forward, should feel a stretch here, and in that hamstring, try to pull it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly bring it down. One more, up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly bring it down. All right, so let's try to get into our 90-90 stretch. So knees are at 90. Okay, it'll look kind of like this. You're laying down. And if you're seated, it'll look like this. So if you can kind of just move your hips, going from a seated position to just like this. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Or you can cross over like this when we go to the other side. So if you're seated, it'll look like this. You're just turning those hips to one side. So this front hip is an external, this back hip is an internal rotation, and it'll look the same here. You can also use supports like boxes to keep you up straight if you feel like you're leaning over. And what we're going to do from here is use the hands like kickstands, lean forward toward that front leg, breathe and hold. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then from here, we're going to twist toward that back leg, try to get nice and tall. Hold here, inhale and exhale. If you look just like this, hold. If you're seated, it'll look just like this. You're going to hold that position, and then you're just going to twist your upper body toward that back leg, okay? So if you're on the ground, it'll look like this. Hold and breathe. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Go ahead and switch sides. If you're on the ground, same thing, opposite side. If you're seated, we're just going to go from here to here. If you're seated, it'll look just like this. Just trying to open up those hips. And also you can go to those axial rotations if that doesn't work, or you can try to straighten an axial, okay? And you can do that if you're seated. Okay, so you have different options. You're able to go toward this side here. Keep breathing and holding. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and twist toward that back leg. Hold here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. All right, so that's a 90-90. Some cars before we head out. So if you're seated, kneeling, or standing, we're just gonna go ahead and squeeze the fists, get into any comfortable position, standing, seated, kneeling, or cross-legged. We're gonna bring the head down, rotate the neck, all the way around to the other side, drawing a circle with the chin. One more rotation. And then 2 rotations the other way. Noticing how much smoother that neck feels probably now after that full workout. And then from here, hands behind the head, we'll do a swimmer hover. Tee out the arms, palms forward, palms reach back. Hold here. And then reach back, try not to jet the head forward. And then we're gonna bend at the elbows behind the back. Hold here, and then lift away from the back, unwind, tee it out, hands behind the head. One more, tee it out, reach back, hold here. If you're unable to bring the elbows behind, just stay where you're at. If you're able to bend, bend. If you're able to extend from here, extend. Tee it out, unwind, hands behind the head. Okay? Shoulder, go ahead and hold on to this here. We're gonna move the scapula. We're gonna go up, back, down, forward, up, back, down. Option 1. Option 2, straighten the arms. Up, back, down, forward, up, back, down. Back and up, forward, down, back, up, forward, and down. Wrists, full circles here, nice and slow. You do about 2 one way, 2 the other. You can squeeze the fists. All right, and then if you're able to, whether you're seated or if you can go on your back, we're gonna bring the hip up as high as it'll go. We're gonna externally rotate and internally rotate. So if you're seated, you've been doing these hip axials. Now, if you're on your back, same thing, an axial in and axial out. Try to bend that knee. And just try to swing those hips in and out, but try to keep that knee bent. Okay, and go ahead and switch. Rotate in and out. Switching legs. Good. And then wherever you are, sit up tall, cross leg. And our last thing we're going to do is just end with some breathing. Heart rate is back to 100, so that is good. And take an inhale through your nose, exhale out through your mouth. Try 2 box breaths before we head out. Ready? Go ahead and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath again for 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a big inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a big inhale through your nose. Big exhale out through your mouth. One more inhale through your nose. Fill it all the way up this time. Biggest inhale of the day. Hold it at the top. And big exhale out. All right. So we got, I think, our workout pretty much in our time frame that we wanted. We got maybe a little extended in our warm-up, but I think we worked out pretty good. So let's go ahead and cross off our cool down, which is complete. I appreciate everyone for hanging out today. If you're in the Zoom chat and you got to head out, understand. If you want to stick around and socialize after, that would be cool. And if you are live with me, I appreciate it. I will be creating a YouTube video later for this, and I will have all these videos archived. So if you just watched this one for the first time, we have days 1 through 7 that you can still watch, and they'll be available all year round. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. See you later.